Shall we start step one of the creation process, which is looking about clarity, which is looking at desire. I'm going to take you through one of my favourite processes called clarity through contrast. And what clarity through contrast helps you understand is that, what do you want? What do you want out of life? If I said to you, so what do you want? Could things come to mind? Usually when we ask this question on the key, people know easier, or it comes out their mouth easier, exactly what they don't want. They're very good at telling you what they don't want. And what you're beginning to understand is that's because your energy, your focus and your attention is on the problem or the worry. Are you beginning to see that now? But knowing what you don't want can actually be very useful. That's what we call our contrast. Because we live in a relative universe. We understand hot because we understand cold. We understand sweet because we understand sour. We understand love because we understand fear. So knowing what you don't want can actually be very helpful for you. But the key here is to not stay in our contrast too long. We get quite comfortable in our contrast. We get quite comfortable talking about it, thinking about it. Your opportunity is to swiftly reset and move away from your contrast into your clarity. And that's what we're going to take you through just now. Okay, I'd like you to turn to page 6 and 7 for me. So what do I want? Well, write that down in your notes just now. Just ask yourself that question. So what do I want? That's the question that we ask ourselves when we press our reset button. So what do I want? And let's begin. So you're going to come to two wheels on your workbook, which look like this. I want to start with a blank wheel. We're going to do a wheel of life first. We're going to do two wheels this afternoon. The first wheel is going to look at areas of our life. The second wheel is going to look at emotions in our life. So what I'm going to invite you to do just now is I'd like you to start to identify areas of your life that you want to look at. Either you want to expand, you want to change, you want to, maybe you don't have a certain area, but you want it. Does this make sense? So I want you to take 8 areas and I want you to just start to populate them just round your wheel. Here's some examples: health, career, your business, finance, relationships. Could be a specific relationship with a family member or a partner. Spirituality. Leave emotions for the moment. But if life was to look whole and complete, what areas of your life would you have in it? Would it be travel? Would it be hobbies? Start to populate your wheel to look like this. If anyone has any questions, just pop in the chat box. I'll bring it up so I can see. So populate your wheel with areas of your life that if you had 8 areas, life would be pretty damn good. You'd be happy with it, okay? Now this should be positive, it shouldn't be negative. Could be your business. It could be relationships with a specific family member. It could be the next stage of your life. Are you becoming a mum, a dad? Do you want to learn more? Do you want to look into education, do a new course? Now, you might not have this area right now. That's okay. We're going to look further into that. So just begin to populate your wheel. with areas that you want to focus on. Can people give me some examples? Maybe type some of the areas that you've put down on your wheel. People might resonate with it. Brilliant. Learning, finances, confidence. You could be an area, just you yourself. Health, brilliant. So populate your wheel with 8 areas of your life that you want to focus on. This is going to then move on to your vision board, remember, tomorrow. Your family, great. Friends. So we're going to just look at areas of our life just now, and then in the next wheel, we're going to look at emotions. So try and stick to just areas of your life. If you could pull apart areas and aspects of your life that you want to shift and change. Okay, brilliant. I'm going to introduce you to your vibrometer. Keys vibrometer. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to check in. So here's what I'd like you to do. I want you to take a couple of moments. I want you to take one area and I want you to close your eyes. So let's take health, for example. Well, why don't we do it together? Take one area. I'm going to take health, for example, just now. And I want you to just sit back and just think about that area. And just everything connected to it. And I want you to ask, not your mind, not your brain, I want you to ask your 50 trillion cells, your heart, your energy, how do I feel about you right now? So health, how do I feel about you right now on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being I am optimum health, I am looking after myself. 1 being I'm really not looking after myself and my health isn't great. I want you to plot just energetically how you feel around that area. And then if it's for an example, I feel like I'm a 9. So then I would just put a wee cross at 9. Make sense? It's not how you want to feel. It's not how you used to feel. How do you feel around that area right here, right now? Move on to my friends. The aspect of life around friends. Where's my energy at? How do I feel around friends just now? Try not to get caught up in, well, this is happening and this is happening. Just energetically, how do I feel about it? On a scale of 1 to 10, not how did I used to feel, something happened to me, no. What do I want to feel, no. How do I feel right now around the area of friends? And then move on to travel. How do I feel about traveling right here, right now? You're going to say something. So just work a way around your wheel. So then you come to a finished wheel. Any questions? Yeah, Morag, good point. Are we taking COVID out of this? Is this what your point was going to be, Christine? Probably. Got a feeling it is.
Well, I think it's not so much COVID as the creative process. I was actually thinking we should leave travel in, because this is a good way to really get people to understand the creative process. There's an idea, and I know Morag that's why Morag presumably has asked, oh, is this COVID or not COVID? But COVID is the current experience. So if we don't put something in now, because of COVID, we're defeating the whole point of the exercise, because we are creating a future reality. So if we say, oh, well, there's not any point in putting travel in because we can't travel, that is possible for now. It's back to the power of now. But what it does do is it chips away at your creative belief system. Does that make sense, Morag? Because if I'm looking at travel and think I'd love to travel but I can't travel, that's exactly why we're doing this exercise. We're doing this exercise to move us into a reality where I can travel. Not only can I can travel anywhere I want, I can travel freely without any caveats, parameters, restrictions, etc. So I think if travel is something in your heart, Morag, which I know it is, having travelled with you, then I think it's as good as anything to leave in. But I think rather than me making it about travel, it's about a future that you might not be able to see just now. So people might not be able to see health just now because they've got COVID. Does that mean they leave health out? No, that's exactly why they put health in, because at the moment they're in an experience that's their current reality. What we are creating in this programme is a future reality, and we'll remove any doubts, because when Megan gets to the doubt section, the doubt might be, well, we're never going to be able to travel, or I can't travel without a vaccine, or, you know, there'll be doubts in. But actually, if we don't want that in our future reality, we have to not entertain it, accept it, receive it. So does that help, Morag? So that's a great point, because there's a temptation. That's why we're here. There's a temptation to be in some kind of suspended reality, to wait until COVID disappears. What if it never disappears? Are we all going to be floating about in suspended reality, not creating anything, waiting for this big moment? That's why we're doing this exercise. Today we are co-creating potentials for ourselves together, which is so exciting. The energy of all of us being together has an energy in its own right, but individually we're creating a future that at the moment we can't see. For whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Okay? So that was my point, Megan. That's because I knew people might be thinking, oh, I can't change my job, or oh, I can't travel, and that's exactly why we're doing this. We're helping people see beyond their current reality.
Right, brilliant, thank you. Yeah, so where Christine's taking you probably is moving into the clarity through contrast part. So if you are where you are right now, and let's take travel for example, you're just asking yourself, how do I feel about travel right now? Let's give Morag the example. Maybe Morag has a limitation. Hopefully it's just reset now given what Christine's just said, but if Morag had a limitation of, well, I can't travel right now because of COVID, it would be low. So that's just where she's at right now. So in terms of the wheel, just plot it. If you feel low about COVID, put it in that affects your energy about the wheel. Moving into the clarity through contrast is where we start to pull apart, right? Well, I've got serious COVID really holding my vision back when it doesn't have to. Because right now we are creating the future in this present moment. We are creating next year, we're creating next month, but that's when it comes to the next phase. So Ali, you've just asked, is this right now? Yes, for your wheel and plotting your wheel with your energy, how do you feel right now? Okay, just everyone with us? Right, brilliant. Then what I want you to do is to then just add up all your, let's just share the screen, Megan, it'll be much easier. I just want you to then plot your points. So it looks something like this. Okay. And what you'll start to see a picture of is, well, how does life currently look? If I was to take a wee diagram of the areas of your life, this is what it looks like. Anyone like their shape? Want to shift it a wee bit? Let us know. But this is just plotting it energetically. And I think this is huge value. I love this process, because quite often, well, it goes back to what I spoke about this morning of quite often we choose either or none. We either choose to just focus on our relationships or focus on our business. Why can't we choose to focus on it all? This is what I love about this process. This gives me a drone view, eagle eye view of what life is currently looking like. Because we just sometimes just focus on, right, I need to get my health in order. But because you're focused so much on your health, that your family, you're not giving them any attention. You're not connecting with people. This starts to give you a full eagle eye shape of what life could look like. Okay. I'll look at some things in the chat box. It's eye-opening, right? Well, that's a good thing, Kerry. I'm glad. I want to expand my shape. Brilliant, Liz. Mine is like an umbrella. Oh, rainy days for you over there, Nettie. We can change it. That's the most important point. So let's move on to the next part of the workbook. You're going to come to a page called Your Clarity Through Contrast. My slide's going to move over. Brilliant. Okay, here we go. Here's what I want you to do. Let's maybe... what we're going to now do is we're going to take each area and we're going to look at, well, what caused that shape? Why is it where it is? What's not? Why is it a 6? Why is it not a 10? What's the in-between? What's the limitations that's holding it back? And that's where this clarity through contrast process comes in perfectly. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take one area. Let's go for the lowest area. So the one with the lowest energy, so whatever number that may be for you, I want you to then push it over to your clarity through contrast. And we're going to look at, well, why is that low? Okay. Everyone got their area? So quite simply, what are the words that caused that shape? Do you want to expand on
that? Sorry, I just thinking, it's just like when you put up those words, like, you know, something about debt or something, it just immediately struck me when we were talking about, you know, the water thing and what Liz was saying about the shape and the asymmetric. I just wanted everyone just to see this is a great example, this exercise of the words they're telling themselves. That's an example of how it's actually literally shaped their life.
Yeah.
Which we were talking about in the water. Remember we said that the words shape the water. So this is a very visual, I think, a great visual of actually what people are telling themselves, how it shapes their life. So that's all I was going to say.
Right, okay. your words of wisdom, your genius comment. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, Ali, I'm going to take us into it now, you've not missed anything. So we're going to let's take, my example was health. So I'm going to take health from my wheel and I'm going to push it over to my contrast. Now I want you to stay in the left-hand side of the page just now. What we're going to do is we're going to get all of the negative out. We're going to press our reset button and we're going to change and shift into clarity statements. So what we're going to do is, let me take health for example. So I was an 8 in my health. I'm going to ask myself, well, why am I not a 10? What's the limitations? What's the contrast? What are the things I don't want connected to my health? And statements or words might just come flying out and down on the paper. It could be things like, I don't like the way I look. I don't eat right. I'm not consistent with my eating. I'm not working out. I'm making excuses for myself just because I'm in isolation.
I'm not planning.
I'm not planning.
I'm just telling everyone what I'm doing or not doing.
So you start to see how things are connected. I mean, lots of things could be coming out, but take one area at a time. So take health. On the left-hand side, write all of the things you don't want in that area that's connected, that's lowering your vibration. I compare myself to others. I'm not good enough. I don't know how to get healthy again. All of these just small things. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to feel this way anymore. Just these thoughts, big thoughts, little thoughts, it doesn't matter. And start to just populate the left-hand side of the page. Move on to your career. I'm stressed at work. Why am I stressed at work? The people in my work affect me. I'm not happy where I am. I'm not happy in my job. I'm taking things home that affect my family life. All of these negative things that make the energy where it's at, the limitations, everything that's lowering your vibration, put it down on the left-hand side, but stay on that left-hand side. There's a very deliberate reason why we do that. I'm agitated, I'm not at peace. I don't have good family relationships. I'm holding on to the past. They don't like me. I've got resentment. Everything that's holding you back, your words, your feelings, your experiences, your limitations, that's lowered your energy towards all of these areas of your life, you put on the contrast, the left-hand side of your page. If anyone's got any questions, please just ask. And then move on to the next area. Everything you're feeling, everything you're experiencing, everything you're holding on to that's lowered your vibration on the left-hand side. What do you believe about that area that's holding you back? Is it someone else's opinion? Is it your own limitation? The more that comes out, the more you have the opportunity to reset and start a new creation process. That's the important thing here. This is an exploration of your thoughts. So let's just stop so I can see everyone. I can't see anyone when I do the slides. Okay, any questions? Anyone want to share just maybe some statements? We don't need to go into it, but just maybe what's come up for you. Has anything come up that's a surprise or you weren't expecting? Okay, Ali, a lot of resistance, but a good awareness, isn't it? A good awareness of what you're resisting. This is the great thing about this process. What do you believe that's keeping you stuck? What do you think that's keeping you stuck? Louisa seemed to be concerned about everyone else. The very thing you shouldn't be doing right now. You should be focusing on you. Lack of self-belief. Fearful of what lies ahead. Right, we need to shift it all, don't we? So stuck in stuck and not moving forward. So why are you stuck? Why are you not moving forward? This is when I would be going deeper into that, Ali. I'd be asking myself more questions here. Why are you concerned about everyone else, Louise? Why have you got lack of self-belief? Why are you fearful of what lies ahead? You've got to just keep getting out. It's like just pulling it until we just get, hopefully you should get to the root cause. And then we question it tomorrow, but that's another thing. Okay, shall we get the vibe up? Anyone? Kerry, you up for it? I can feel it. She's like, I feel like I've lost you. Here's what I want to do. Oh yes, please. Right, good, Nolene, you're with me. Here's what I want to do. This is the exciting part. Now it's heavy. It's tough, but let's do it. And then I want to talk about why this is so important. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to quite simply imagine your reset button. Close your eyes and ask myself, so what do I want? If I'm so fearful of what lies ahead, I press my reset button. I ask myself, right, so what do I want here? I want to be open to new possibilities in the future. See the difference? If I'm just concerned about everyone else all the time and everyone's opinions, I press my reset button. I ask myself, so what do I want here? I want to find my voice and I want to be a little bit selfish and put myself first. And when I put myself first, everyone else is sorted. So you're moving from what you don't want, you're pressing your reset button, asking yourself, so what do I want? And you're finding clarity. You're just resetting the thought. You're just resetting the words. Let me just remind you, this is only step one of the creation process. I'm just getting you to shift how you're thinking around one thing and giving you an opportunity to think something different. Here are some examples. I'm sick of being in debt. I press my reset button. I ask myself, well, so what do I want to feel then? I want to feel abundant and free. I hate being overweight. I press my reset button. I ask myself, so what do I want? I want to lose weight and be healthy. I'm stressed at work. I press my reset button. I ask myself, now sit with that question. Don't just, if you're unhappy, do you want to be happy? That's a level to it. Sit with the question and visualize, what do I want out of this situation? Go deeper. Don't just reset the words. Reset the energy. Reset the intention. I'm stressed at work. I press my reset button and ask myself, so what do I want? I want to work in a harmonious environment that I love every single day. I'm agitated and I'm not at peace. I press my reset button and ask myself, so what do I want? I want to find clarity and contentment. I don't have a good relationship with a certain person. I close my eyes, I press my reset button, I ask myself, so what do I want? I want to let go and start again. See the difference from going to what you don't want to what you do want. Now begin to just do that process and start to find clarity. Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Don't know if you'll hear this music, but we could put some on. So just take yourself through that process. Go from the contrast, press your reset button and ask myself, so what do I want? It's amazing, isn't it? It is so powerful. I'm just getting you to reset your words. I'm just getting you to reset the thought. I'm not saying you have to embrace it and feel it and believe it in every cell of your being right now. You might around certain things. I just want you to reset the thought from what you don't want to what you do want. I'll stick some music on and maybe give you about 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So if people want to have a wee break, then they can do as well. Okay. How are we feeling? We feeling good? Nettie? Yeah? Brilliant. Okay. Anyone want to share maybe how that process, what they experienced? Ali, I know you've just put a wee message down here. It actually feels quite emotional that it's so easy to achieve in such a simple exercise, isn't it? Just getting your thoughts down and resetting, changing in the present moment is so important. If anyone has to share anything, then Daniela, brilliant.
I definitely can compare the first time I did this to this. This is my second time, and the first time I actually never completed the clarity column. And I know that we spoke many times about completing it, but I actually never got round to doing it. That's the truth. And I don't know whether I just avoided it or I just subconsciously I just didn't want to go. I was just so fixed, I guess, on the negative and how I was stuck. Yeah. But today I literally ran out of paper, and I found myself full of more positive feelings. So I think when you compare the two, if it's somebody's first time today and they are stuck, like it might get, as you would say, lighter and easier to think a little bit better and a little bit more positive, and a little bit more of a open vision rather than being so stuck in the negative. Yeah. So today was definitely really was just worth just doing that. It was really good for me.
Can you share one with me, Daniela? Can you share maybe what contrast was?
Yeah. This one about friends actually, and it was I don't want to be judged negatively, especially if you open yourself up to new friends and you just open yourself up for criticism or not being liked. And the clarity would be that I want to be okay with not being liked. Like, I think that was quite probably the most, just having that written down is quite powerful, that it's okay if, you know, not everyone's going to like you, as long as you're authentic and that, you know, you've been nice and you've been true to yourself and you've been a good person to that person, then it's okay if they didn't like you or you just didn't gel, that it's not a direct attack on me personally, that it's just okay not to be liked.
Right, good. Can we give her a round of applause for her voice and being vulnerable to share contrast? Yeah, I like that. But what you've done, I'm just checking in.
Yeah.
Have you also wrote down, I want to be authentic and true to myself?
I wrote, I want to be more positive and be authentic.
Right, brilliant.
So I did write, there were loads of things. So, and I also want to listen more, like listen to, you know, if I make a new friend, rather than speaking too much, just to listen about more. So I wrote, I want to listen more. And the contrast was pretty much the opposite. I don't listen enough. So
right, Fabi, right, good. So it's amazing, just huge sorry, I've got an enormous dog that's shaking and snoring and drinking water. Right, brilliant. Do you know that I'm happy to hear that? I know that was from Menton last month. We were looking at you just taking yourself through that process, so just getting comfortable with it. And sometimes we get people that just come on the course just to do this process because they just, for whatever reason, they don't create the space or the time to just sit down and do a clarity through contrast. But that is the first thing we do on any starting point. It's how we start a new creation process. What Daniela's now done perfectly is Daniela was in a creation process of, I'm not finding the right friends, I'm scared that people judge me or people don't like me. That was the creation process she was going down, if you don't mind me saying. What she's done is she's reset, she's asked herself, so what do I want? At this moment in time, the power of now, creating and making a different choice. Daniela's just started a new creation process of, I'm authentic, I'm true to myself, I can't wait to meet new friends. Then what she's going to do is give that her energy, her focus and her attention. She's going to create a belief around it. Now, I'm very aware that just when you reset a thought, you might not have the energy and the power behind it yet, but just to remind you, we're only on step 1 of the creation process. There's still 2 more steps to power this up, to get the belief, and then to add the vision tomorrow. But this is the first step. Just simply change the thought and the energy around it. So brilliant. I love that. Good for you. Right, okay. Anyone else want to share how they felt? Or
Megan, could I just add a wee thing in? And I think this is such a great opportunity as well, because maybe what it's showing people is that it's easy, isn't it, to create great things when you're in a great mood and when everything's going well. The challenge here is to create in fear, you know, in an environment that is outside there is negative. And I think Daniela has demonstrated that perfectly, because normally we can just go, oh, and almost it's a superficial creativity, whereas this is making people really have to dig deep, I think. And if you can create in this environment, like this, the external environment, not your environment, wow, you're really going to get this. You really, really are, because there's a different level of energy required to create when everything's going well. It's when things are tough, it takes the real courage to look inside yourself and say, what do I not want, and why is it happening? So I think that's brilliant, Daniela, and everyone.
brilliant, thank you. Okay, so you now have a list of what you do want. Yes, everyone got a good clarity of the list. Do they love it? Yeah, we liking it. Jean, you liking it? Thumbs up, brilliant. So if we know what we do want to experience, do we need to know what we don't want? Do you want to have that? I wouldn't. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to either tear up half of the page, or scribble out. If you've got something behind the page, don't half it, or get a big black marker, and I want you to cross out everything in the contrast. And don't just score out, be present, make a purposeful choice that I am choosing to not think in the contrast anymore. I'm deliberately choosing to create a new creation process right now, and I'm going to start giving my energy, my focus, my attention to the clarity. I've shifted my thought. How does that feel? This is usually the point in the course people want our marker pens to black it all out. But even just these small changes are so powerful. If you don't need it, why is it still sitting there? Get rid of it, because you've now created a new thought. This is when you are accountable. Brilliant. Okay. Exciting.